What's up, guys? So here I have what is called a UPS, which is an uninterruptible power supply. It's a CyberPower AVR1500. Now, I found this at a Goodwill. I often go there to find, old computer parts you just can't find anywhere and stuff like that. But occasionally I find something pretty cool like this. So this unit here is an AVR1500. It's a 1500 VA 900 watt UPS. And if you're asking what a UPS is, it actually has batteries inside of it so that when your power goes out, it doesn't automatically turn off your devices that are plugged in. So you can see on this side it has 4 plugs for the battery and 4 plugs that are just to the power. So these will go out when the power goes out. These 4 plugs will not. And then it also has some other stuff like a USB plug to plug into your computer for diagnostics, serial port that I'm not sure what it's used for. And then it has an in and out for an Ethernet cable, and then also an in and out for your cable, so you can have a surge protector on those things too. So those are just for surge protection, and then these 4 for your battery. So you don't have, you know what it basically does is it gives you time to turn off your devices. It's not going to let you run off of this very long. Most of them only boast about 10 minutes of runtime when your power goes out. Some of them get a little bit more, just depending on how new or old the batteries are. Basically, right now I have a actually under my desk now for my main PC, I have a APC backup UPS 700. And it's 700 VA 420 watt, whereas this one is 1500 VA with 900 watts. So this one is a lot better. Well, I picked this one up at Goodwill for $13. And they do have a return policy if it doesn't work, but I figure for 13 bucks I'll just eat the cost and the rest of the money goes to charity anyway. It's not a big deal. But my other one that's only 420 watts cost me about $80 probably 2 or 3 years ago I bought it, and it's still running great. The batteries in it are still working. And you do have to replace these batteries quite often, as in like 2 to 3 years they recommend to replace them. So this one here, when I bought it and plugged it in, it just flashes the green light in the front here. So it's got this. There's no LCD behind here. You can get one with an LCD model, but this is not it. So it's got the power button here, and then it's got power on, which is the one that flashes, and it's got using battery, AVR, and overload, and none of them 3 have ever lit up. And then just the power on would blink. But anyway, that's what it does, and so far I assume that it needs new batteries. So this being $156 to buy new right now on Amazon to get this model, I figure spending the $13 for this and then $30 for the batteries, you get 2 batteries for 30 bucks. Now they're the cheaper ones. You can get ones that are rated for more amp hours and that kind of thing. But I just went for the 7.2 amp hours each. So they'll be run in series. So I don't know if that'll be what they both get together, or maybe if they'll get double that in series. I think it'll be what they're getting together. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and replace the batteries in this today, and we're going to see if it'll work or if it's actually something with the board inside. Because I did kind of take this back panel off and take a look at it, and everything looked good from what I can actually see. But to get this apart, you actually have to like split these cases right here somehow, and I think there's like clips and stuff along here. So I didn't want to do that until I knew that I had to, because sometimes those clips you can break. So give me a minute. I'm going to get out the fresh batteries and we're going to pull out the old ones. Alright, so to get to the batteries on this unit is pretty simple. Just flip it down on its side, and you've got one screw right here on this front panel. So we'll take that out, and then pretty much you just press down and the clips come down, and you can get to the batteries here. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this. I've got a plug on the front for the front panel, that way I can flip this all the way around. And then here we have 2 plugs, and that's all that's really holding the battery in at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and undo both of these. I did have both of these out and tested them, and pretty much they'll start taking a charge, but it'll immediately drain right back out and will go back down to flat. So pretty much you can keep this stuff here because it'll actually hold your new batteries together, and it'll stick to the new batteries just fine. So just peel that off, flip it to the other side, and peel this side off. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my batteries, which I've got 2 of these. They're just made by a company called Mighty Max Battery, and they're, like I said, 7.2 amp hour at 12 volts. They're not the most expensive batteries. They're actually the cheapest ones I could find, because I didn't want to spend a bunch if I didn't know if this was going to work or not. And then later on, I guess if they go bad and I know this still works, then I'm still only in it, you know, the 30 bucks plus whatever the new batteries will cost. I think the really good ones are like around 50 bucks for 2 of them. Something like that. So I'm going to get these out and kind of put them how these go. That way I can just kind of hook everything together. So looks like this one's like that and this one is like that. So I'm going to set those there and have those ready. Then I can pretty much unplug this one, unplug that one, and then I'll bring my other battery up here, plug that one in, plug that one in. Now I can go to this side, unplug the negative cable there, unplug positive cable there, and then bring this one up and plug this one in. Alright, so both of those are plugged in. Now I can kind of scoot my separating plastic back down and make sure it's all going to go back together correctly. It looks like something's kind of stopping me somewhere. Alright, there we go. So on this side went this piece of plastic. I'm going to go ahead and just stick that back onto there like that. Squeeze them together, make sure that's in the right spot, and put that one on. Like I could have brought it that way more, but that's okay. And then this one will go just like that, and like that. So now we are ready to put this back in. There, a little bit of force. Alright, so let's fix our wires here. They do need to go back up in there a little bit. Plug this one in. Plug this one in. Alright, there's all that back. Let's plug our panel back in. Put our screw back in. Alright, now I've got an extension here. Now we're going to see what happens. Hopefully that green light is not blinking. And it's not. Oh, and there we go, the first beep. So now it's actually running on the battery. So we're going to go ahead and plug it in. And now since I plugged it in, it's now not running on the battery. And it's just not blinking, so that means it is working. I don't see AVR, which means so I think it's like I forget, like over voltage or something, and then the bottom one's for overload, like if you got too much stuff plugged into it. Alright, that's AVR's automatic voltage regulation, so that's on there. So now I'll turn it off. Okay, so it's off now. Now let's unplug it and check it again. Okay, it beeped, so Now let's unplug it. Now it should go. Now it's using battery. And I can hear the fan running in there to keep it cold, and then it beeps because it lets you know that, hey, your power's out, so you need to shut down your stuff. So yeah, we'll go ahead and give it another plug back in. Make sure it switches back like it should. And now it just kicked off, and now it's powered on. And now we're going to test to make sure it is actually working by plugging something in, because I know that the surge protector side works, and I could plug something in there. So I've just got a little lamp here, so let's go ahead and test that. So this is going to be on the battery side, where nothing would work before with the old batteries. Okay, so now that works. Now this is still on the battery side, so let's unplug it. And it still works. So it's actually running off the battery. It got a little bit dimmer, but that's fine as long as it actually works. And now it's back running on the power. So let's go through and check all the plugs. Okay, so here's another battery, and that works. Another battery, and that works. And the last battery socket, and that one works. So all the battery side works, and of course the surge protector side works already, because I knew and I already tested those, but we'll go ahead and just make sure. Yep, there you go. So this is fully functioning now for a total of $43 on a $150 unit. Like I said, this is a CyberPower 1500 AVR, and on Amazon that's $150 for this sucker. So what I'm going to do with this is actually switch this one out with my main computer, and then I'm going to take the one on my main computer that's lower wattage and put it on my security system. That way the security system just doesn't shut off like that if the power happens to blip and go out for a minute or two. So anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and see if you see one of these for cheap, you know, pull out your phone and Google it. If it's expensive, you know, it's usually just the batteries that are the problem. And most Goodwills and stuff like that, they have plugs right there, and you can plug it in and kind of test things. So plug it in and test it, and then you can always look up a manual online real quick on your phone and see what that might be. And that's what I did, and I ended up purchasing it, and it is just the batteries. So I appreciate everybody watching. Have a good one.